Welcome to Faith, Purpose, and Freedom podcast, where we share real stories, real hope, and real inspiration. Together we heal, learn, and grow. I am your host, Kayla Roth. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another powerful week of faith, purpose, and freedom. This is our final activation episode of the month of August. And I want you to take a deep breath because we are stepping into something new, something aligned, something anointed, and something deeply transformative. Next month, oh my goodness, I can't wait, guys. Every Monday in September, I have a special guest joining me, someone who carries faith, wisdom, encouragement, and real life testimony. We are stepping into a season of shared faith, shared stories, shared encouragement, and shared transformation. We're so excited to walk this journey with you. But before we step into that season, we need to close August strong. So, next week, there will be no Monday podcast. I'm sorry, but there's lots coming and lots I'm working on, and I will share that as we go through today. So, anyhow, last week I encouraged you to go through your astrology charts, and I hope you did. If not, listen, you can still go back and do this for free at www.astro.com. Then take your chart, drop it into ChatGPT, and have it break down everything for you. Over the past several weeks, I've encouraged people to take, your spiritual gifts test, your personality test, do the astrology chart, and I encourage you guys to take it and match it all together. Because when you do, you begin to see yourself clearly. You begin to understand your wiring, and we are all unique. So you begin to understand your purpose. You begin to understand your identity, and you begin to understand your calling. One thing I tell every one of my clients is I can break it down for you. I can explain it to you. I can all the things, but it's you that has to ask the questions. It is better if I ask you the questions and you come up with those answers and those solutions and those conclusions for yourself, for you to understand yourself deeper. If you have a question, drop it into ChatGPT. Ask them, like, what does this mean? This is what I do. This is how I react. And these situations frustrate me. And this is what, my personality test says, my spiritual gifts test is, and this is my astrology chart. Help me understand myself better. Help me understand what I can do to improve, make some of those weaknesses become my strengths. And weaknesses truly can be your strengths. It's not always a holdback. When we know our weaknesses, we know where we can really put our strengths into that. And our weaknesses then become strengths too. So in my coaching, we go a little deeper even. We add disc profiling and meta profiling. These tools set us up to who we are and to dig it into, who we are, why we do what we do, and how we operate. They help us break down your patterns, your strengths, your blind spots, your motivations, and even your leadership style. So today I'm going to walk you through each tool, what it reveals, and how you can apply it to your life. So let's look at the spiritual gifts test, okay? So, your spiritual gifts test shows you how God uniquely equipped you, how you naturally serve, how you lead, how you encourage, how you teach, how you support others, how you show compassion, and how you build the kingdom. And every single one of these are in each of our lives. We all teach. We may not be a teacher in a school, but we do teach. For me, I never realized, and I had a group of youth that entered my home, and I couldn't understand, and suddenly things from my entire life started to make sense, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I went through this, 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 and this, and now I can encourage and I can teach, and I can serve these young children and teenagers and young adults by loving them where they're at and sharing the wisdom I learned along the way, because we don't ever want people to make the same mistakes we made. So if we can encourage them, we can inspire them, we can teach them, then they don't have to go through that because we already did it for them. So spiritual gifts reveal your God-given assignment. They show the part of the body of Christ you were designed to fulfill. When you understand your spiritual gifts, you stop trying to be someone else. You stop comparing, you stop shrinking, and you stop apologizing for who you are. You begin to walk in purpose, clarity, and confidence. So, your personality test. Your personality test now, it shows you how you think, how you communicate, how you make decisions, how you relate to others, what environments energize you, what environments kind of drain you, and how you can make each of those work for you. How if it's an environment that drains you, okay, if I have to go into this environment, I need to be cautious about this, this, and this, and it brings that awareness into your life. And so that is very helpful so that you don't drain all your energy. It shows us how you lead, how you solve problems. Your personality doesn't define your identity, but it does help you understand your natural tendencies. And when you combine your personality with your spiritual gifts, you begin to see your leadership style, your communication style, your ideal work environment, your strengths, your blind spots, and your natural calling. Disc profiling, however, shows us if we are more dominant, our influence, steadiness, and compliance. So it reveals how we respond under pressure, how you handle conflict, how we lead teams, how we communicate, how we operate in relationships, and how we show up in business. DISC helps you understand your behavioral patterns. So then we look at meta profiling. Meta profiling digs into your subconscious patterns, your emotional triggers, your belief systems, your internal motivations, your resilience, your adaptability, and your self awareness. So, meta profiling helps you understand why you do what you do, and it reveals why you react the way you react, why certain things trigger you, why certain patterns repeat, and why certain habits feel hard to break. And this is where deep transformation starts to happen. So now let's move into the deeper identity tool. And these are all the tools I use in my 12-week coaching program. That is huge, but I use them with my one-on-one coaching also. So astrology. Astrology reveals our core identity, our natural strengths, our emotional patterns, your intellectual patterns, inner archetypes, and your energetic tendencies. So the planets represent your inner archetypes. And so the sun, for example, is identity, expression, vitality, leadership. The moon is going to represent our subconscious, our intuition, nurturing, emotional personality. Mercury shows us our communication, our thinking, and our learning. Venus shows us our relationships, our values, our attraction, and our material desires. Mars shows us our drive, our ambition, our action, and our passion. So, astrology is essentially the practice of interpreting the positions and movements of celestial bodies to gain insight into personality, relationships, and life patterns. The zodiac signs are connected to real regions of the sky. So, as Earth travels around the sun appears to move across a backdrop of stars. So, even in scripture, the sky mattered. Think about it. The wise men followed the star to find Jesus. People navigated by the North Star. The heavens have always been a divine map. That was huge for me to learn that. And I was like, dang. So, human design. And this is how, and all of this is going to show up whenever you go to that astro.com and you do your chart. It's going to show you. So your human design, that's how your energy works, how you make decisions, how you respond to life, how you protect your energy, how you interact with others, how you manifest, and how you lead. So it shows your strategy, your authority, your energy type, your centers, your channels, your gates. Human design is your energetic operating system, and we are energetic beings. So then we have gene keys. And this is kind of your life lessons and your potential for growth. So, your gene keys reveal your life story, your shadows, your gifts, your highest potential, your resilience, your self mastery, your soul evolution. And gene keys show the story of your transformation. So, each key reveals a shadow that you must overcome, a gift you must activate, and a higher purpose that you must embody. And those are huge whenever finding your purpose, especially so many people have no idea what their purpose is. I know people who are CEOs, I mean, running amazing businesses, making the money, beautiful homes, beautiful families, and still feel unfulfilled, miserable, exhausted, drained, and don't even feel like they're living in their purpose. You can have all the money in the world and still be really unhappy. You can also have all the money in the world and be a really happy person. You have to be living in your purpose though, because if you're not, something's always going to be pulling on strings and pulling you back. And there's going to be that shadow. Together, astrology, human design, and gene keys reveal your essence, your purpose, potential, leadership, and your calling. And they work together to show who you are and how you lead. And this is kind of where I use, the meta profiling, and then I take the disc profiling. I take the spiritual gifts test, the personality test, and then the astrology chart. And we look at all of it together. This session, after all of these tests have been taken, sometimes will run 2 hours because I take on my personal time and I will go and I dive into these, and then I come up with a generalized description and understanding. And then I get on a call with my clients and we dig deep. We go deep. We dig out the problems, the shadows, the things holding us back. We dig all of those up. We come up with a plan. We set the goals. We come up with an exact plan of your daily life and the little things we're going to implant into your life. Everybody is different. So there's lots of different tools. Sometimes we have a limiting belief problem and we need to get to that limiting belief and we need to change that belief system. Sometimes people are struggling in an area where they don't know how to set goals. Sometimes we don't make the time to sit in silence and just listen to the universe, listen to God. We don't take time. Everything is interconnected. Um, I have a blog that I wrote about that, and I talk about interconnection in my book, Awaken the Light Within, because it was something that when I realized and my eyes opened to it, I was like, oh goodness, I couldn't even breathe if there were no plants. Plants breathe the opposite of us. If I didn't have water to drink, like that would be a problem. Imagine a fish trying to swim without water. That would be a problem. The sun, nothing. God created everything in a distinct order. And one of those biggest things that I've realized is we all try to put every little thing just in a box. Every single ounce of this is a piece of a bigger puzzle. So instead of being so quick to be like, you're wrong, never heard that before, listen to people. Are there situations where your spirit's going to tell you, like, no, that's not right? But listen, be open minded, sit with it, sit in your prayer closet alone, pray about it, and let God reveal truth to you before you just close everything out. So, let's talk about journaling. When we journal our life story, we bury deep in our subconscious. Sometimes, first, this helps a lot because sometimes we forget things until a trigger happens and we react. Then later, we sit with the result of our reaction. So, journaling will help us dig out some of those things. When I did this, I went back to the earliest point I could remember and I started journaling and I was writing down just my life story pretty much. And as I would write down, I would I came to my teenage years and suddenly things from childhood started popping up again that I forgot happened. But that's how our subconscious protects us. It protects us by burying things. However, then when something happens that triggers it, it's still there. And so then we react, and when we react, we're now stuck dealing with the results of our reaction. So, journaling helps us see patterns and triggers, see the emotional wounds, see our subconscious beliefs, see where healing is still needed, and see where growth is possible. And this is truly where transformation will start to begin. So, there's 7 levels of human transformation. Okay. So after you've gone through and you've journaled your whole life story, and now you've seen all these patterns and these things, and now you have your personality test, you have your spiritual gifts test, you have your meta profiling and your disc profiling, and you've done your astrology chart, suddenly things are making sense. And you're going, holy crap, I do this. I did this because of this. Oh, this happened because of this, but this is where I need to work on that. And oh, I need to set a plan for this. And oh, I do have a limiting belief problem. So let's go ahead and change that, identify it, and let's get that changed. Suddenly things in our life is making sense. We are aware. Awareness is key to transforming every belief, everything, and transforming our entire life. I'm telling you right now, I've been through it, I've walked it. I can only tell you guys what I've learned and how I did it myself. What worked for me may not work for everybody, and if it's not for you, that's absolutely okay. But if it is for you and it may work for you, I would encourage you to stay listening. So, the 7 levels of human transformation: environment, behavior, capabilities, beliefs, values, identity, and vision. So, in my coaching, we start with vision first. I start at the bottom and work my way up. Because when you optimize your vision, everything else naturally will align. So, your vision. What is the vision you have for your life? And I would encourage you to sit down, listen to this, and go through it. What do you need to become to live that vision 100% fully? And what exists in that vision? Financial freedom, maybe legacy, faith, peace, love, purpose, confidence. Vision is the destination, identity is the vehicle, values are the fuel, beliefs are the engine, behaviors are the actions, and environment is the support system. Remember that. So, in your identity, who must you become? Identity is the foundation. You become the exact person you envision. God gave you the vision, not anyone else. So do not let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. And this is where manifesting is amazing, because when you start just manifesting and meditating, work hand in hand, sitting there, envisioning yourself there. You're confident, you're loved, you are inspiring others, you are encouraging people, you are living the life of your dreams, leaving a legacy for your family, for your loved ones, for everyone that's coming up behind you, leaving a legacy. You are living in financial freedom and you're manifesting this into your life. You're visioning it, you're living it, you're manifesting it every single day. Eventually, that will become your reality. Identity is who you must become. God gave you the vision, not anyone else. So don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. Let me say that again. Never let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. Absolutely not. Negative, kick it out of here. Values. Your values must align with your vision. So, values like purpose, clarity, confidence, faith, legacy, and freedom, these values will shape your decisions. So, every decision you're making, if you're going, okay, here are my 5 most important values. If I make this decision today, does this align with my values? And do my values align with my vision? And is my identity matching both my values and my vision? Because if not, you need to go back to the drawing board. Beliefs. What must you believe? Your beliefs determine your outcomes. So we have to identify our limiting beliefs, the evidence behind them, the times we succeeded. So let me put it to you this way. So if I have a limiting belief that I always fail, I need to look at that and be like, okay, what evidence do I have behind that? What's my proof? Like, where is the proof that I always fail? And figure out where that belief came from and realize that that is a limiting belief because I don't always fail. What are some times I succeeded? And now I'm going, oh, well, I did succeed in this. I did get that certificate. I did get that degree. Oh my goodness, I did succeed in that. So, now I have some evidence that my belief may not be completely true. So, what are the consequences of me believing that I always fail? I cause myself to fail. I literally manifest failing into my life because that's what I believe. I'm always negative. I don't feel very confident because I feel like a failure then. Is any of this serving me? Absolutely not. Is any of that going to get me to where I need to be? No. But if you believed I always fail, now your new belief system becomes I can learn what I need to learn to succeed. Be the pencil in God's hand rewriting your story. So, people want the outcomes first, but we have to be clear on the vision. It's like we all want to look and be like, oh, I want that outcome, and you just want it to happen. Click your fingers and it happened. Well, I wish that's how it happened, but it's not. Let's just be real. There's things that we have to align for that to happen, right? So we have to be clear on our vision. Then we have to install the new behaviors, the new actions, the new habits, the new patterns, and we may even have to get rid of some things. Right? So we can interrupt negative patterns. We can anchor positive emotions so that we don't get into those limiting beliefs and those negative emotions. We can release emotional wounds. We can change limiting beliefs and we can create momentum patterns. We have all of this available to us, but we have to choose to use it. Neurolinguistic programming, look into it. Look it up and run with it. I'm telling you, it's the best thing I ever did. People think that happiness comes after achievement. This is the biggest thing I teach clients. Happiness is a choice. If you have breath in your lungs, you have something to be grateful for. Choose gratitude. Look up your horoscope daily. Do a daily prayer every day, read some scripture, set daily goals, work on one thing every day. Imagine being at your retirement party or writing your own eulogy. What do you want people to say? Who were you? What did you accomplish? What were you remembered for? I know what I want. I want to be remembered for loving others, for being an example of love in all I do, for encouraging others, for being present, for cheering people on, for leading people to Jesus, for being humble and kind, for being a podcaster, coach, minister, speaker, for traveling to love people, lead people to Jesus, make sure people know that they matter, they're worth it. Helping people grow in their identity where we eventually overcome every mental health battle that ever existed, where we all smash Satan beneath our feet, for speaking life, for bringing unity. And all of this together gives me financial freedom, purpose, love, faith, confidence, and legacy. So I must align my goals with my vision. Where do I want to be in 3 years? What must I do in the next 12 months to be there in 3 years? Who must I become? What must I commit to? Then I revisit this quarterly. I had to learn to invest in myself. Even Tony Robbins has coaches and mentors. We all need someone to look within us. So I am launching a 12-week coaching program in September. For the first month, it will be the lowest price it will ever be. It will never be this low again. I will be launching it for $100 for the whole 12 weeks. And after that, it will increase. But in that, you will receive this: a self-paced course, weekly accountability emails, a weekly group coaching, 2 one-on-one coaching calls with me, and an optional additional coaching sessions if you choose, and the option to continue coaching with me. In all of this, it is a $5,997 worth for $100. I have put my heart and soul into this. This is my healing going into one course to help others, because I want to lead every single person I know into love and unity, into their purpose, into their God-given destiny, into that vision that God planted for just you. And I'm ready. Also, my book, Awaken the Light Within, launches in October. This week, I'm ordering my first draft, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. So, also, if you want individual coaching and you're interested in that, schedule your 60-minute gifted session at www.faithpurposefreedom.com. I would be honored to just jump on a call with you and see if working together would be beneficial for both of us. So, you are stepping into a new season, guys, a season of faith, purpose, freedom, identity, clarity, confidence, and legacy. You are awakening the light within you, the light that's been within you the entire time. You are becoming who God designed you to be, stepping into your calling. You are rising, you are aligning, you are transforming. Guys, I am so honored that you have taken time to listen. I hope you all gained something, and I look forward to season 2 with special guest Peter Gay Roberts all season long. I can't wait. She is going to bring so much wisdom into this, and it's going to be a blessing. I also have another special guest pastor coming on. Super excited for that. As we move into this next season, October, November, December is going to be a season of Jesus, a season of rest, a season of love, and just really honoring what God has done in our lives, continues to do what Jesus has done, and just a time to be thankful and grateful on top of it all. If this podcast has blessed you, please like and share it. Also, if you feel led to partner with me, you can donate through the PayPal link in the description. It is paypal.me/faithfullyblessed87, or on Cash App at #, capital F, Faith, Purpose, Freedom. Your donation helps us reach more people and helps me offer free coaching to those who are in need that maybe just can't afford it, because we all deserve to find that purpose, live in that purpose. As always, I love you all, and stay blessed.